everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Play Your Slides Right, the game show in which I only very vaguely follow the format of Play Your Cards Right because I do ask you higher or lower.
Whoa, that's ideal.
Excuse me,
that's that.
Excuse me, where is your Bruce Forsyth impression?
Nice to see you.
Nice!
Yeah!
Oh, you're much better than last week's audience.
Thank you.
But it's a thing, we have a theme, obviously, and that is, how low can we go?
Oh.
Part 1, deep life.
Oh, what a lovely photo of Brucey there. Oh my goodness. Look at that moustache and that haircut.
The way this is going to work is you're going to alternate giving me a depth, and then the other person is going to say higher or lower.
Okay.
I just noticed that
and
massive bat in the middle of the cave.
Is that a bat?
That enormous
it's a
bat
bat.
hanging from the cave. It's like as big as...
How do you know how big it is?
True, I have no sense of scale in this environment. Maybe it's a tiny bat.
I mean, Bruce Forsyth is standing right next to the bat. You can see how big
really
it is.
What I think. The
Although
Bruce
Forsyth
kind of
he does seem to be a little bit small because those cards are massive. So it actually looks like Bruce Forsyth is about that tall.
Question number 1. How deep is the deepest burrow?
Oof.
Bonus point for anybody who can tell me what the animal is. I want your answer in meters, please.
In meters.
Well, that's a big clue, isn't it? Meters.
Yeah,
it's
is it an
not
owl?
going to be 0.5 meters, is it? It's going to be more.
If you think that the deepest burrow only goes down half a meter, you just don't have any imagination.
I think it's lower than half a meter.
Is that your answer? Okay. Who wants to go first?
I believe Nat just gave her answer. It was half a meter.
No, I categorically said it.
Okay, Nat, redeem yourself. Give me an answer. Then Jen, you tell me whether it's higher or lower.
Okay. Look at those faces. That's Nat's thinking face.
What animal would it be? I'm gonna say 15
The
meters.
animal is a bonus point. Okay,
Right. I'm gonna say 15 meters.
15 meters.
And I'm gonna guess that it's some kind of sea creature.
Interesting. You're gonna have to be more specific.
No, it's not gonna be a sea creature.
And by burrow, I do mean burrow made by the animal, not
Yeah.
something it's found and inhabited.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it's lower.
rat.
I think it's lower than naked mole rat.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
Naked mole rat. And you think it's lower?
I think it's
Interesting.
lower than 15 meters. I think it might be like an ant or something.
Okay, it is lower than 15 meters. It's actually 12 meters, and it is the Nile crocodile.
That's higher.
Oh my god! I definitely wasn't going to expect
Yeah. Wait,
I
meant
how that was going to work out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. You've discovered the flaw. So which one did you... I meant... Yeah, but does it matter what I meant? Did you think that you thought the burrow
Lower
was
is in
going
beneath.
to be lower?
This is the problem with this
No.
specific question.
I thought whatever it was that gets me the point.
No. We're gonna... This is a nice clarifying round, but it sounds like Nat has won the point.
Yeah.
It was 12 meters.
I disagree.
You thought it would be a
disagree
greater depth
No.
than
No,
15
I
meters.
distinctly
To
said lower.
clarify, I want you to tell me whether the numerical value is higher or lower than the previous numerical value. We're not doing negative numbers.
It just
we're
happened to
I'm
be
just
that
saying,
this question was a question of depth,
Yeah.
but that's
There's a lot of questions of depth, so this is an important point to iron out.
Okay, get it.
I would like people to comment down below, Team Jen, if you believe that I have been robbed. Hashtag Team Jen, if you believe that I have been robbed. Get it bloody trending. Get it trending.
Get in the comments. Okay, yeah. I'm doing on an ascending scale. We're not doing negative numbers, and I want to know whether the number is higher or lower. Not whether the depth is higher or lower.
If it's
higher, which is confusing because
below.
It is confusing because the episode is how low can we go. So I am trying to decide whether I've made a big mistake, whether I should change tack. At any rate, Jen thought it would be deeper.
No, I think distinctly, like, we've clarified it now, but we do agree that I have won this first round.
No, you thought it would be deeper. It wasn't deeper.
No, Incorrect. It doesn't matter what I thought.
Okay.
I said the right answer.
Question 2.
What animal was it?
It was the Nile crocodile.
A crocodile.
Oh.
In all that, I'm astonished that that a crocodile has the deepest burrow.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the thing that we focused on there.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't have guessed that.
No. Why was there an image of an owl?
Because that seems to be you know what? When I searched burrowing animal, I found so many pictures of owls, and on this royalty-free website,
have burrows?
And not much of anything else. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll go with this. It looks like it's underneath something.
Okay.
Question 2: how deep are the deepest plant roots? Jen, it's your turn to guess.
I think 15 meters.
15 meters.
And I think it
Jen.
was a tree.
It was a tree. I wasn't actually going to give a bonus point for this particular round. Natalie, do you think that the numerical value is higher or lower than 15 meters?
I think it's higher, goddammit. I think it's way higher. I imagine, I'm just guessing, I'm just spitballing here, but I feel like the depth of the roots can be, just as high as the height of the tree. And I feel like trees can get higher than that, and so I'm like, higher.
That's interesting. I would assume that it would go wide rather than deep.
Yeah, I think often does.
But that is 2 for 2. The deepest tree roots actually go 68 meters down.
Wow.
And that's
I thought it might be quite a lot.
shepherd's tree in the Kalahari Desert.
Wow.
I guess it's to reach the groundwater,
Yeah, that's going to be a case of the roots being a lot higher than the tree, right? Because it really needs to get down really deep to access the water.
No, wait, the roots are lower, but the number is higher.
Yeah. Anyway, win for me.
Question number 3. How deep is the deepest multicellular life? To clarify here, I mean in the continental crust.
Oh.
So deep in the earth as opposed to deep in the ocean. I will give a bonus point if you can guess the multicellular organism as well.
Well, it's going to be bigger than 68 meters, right? Because if that's the deepest roots, then it has to be deeper than that, right? Like, that's a multicellular organism. It's funny questions like this when you just realize that outside of your regular frame of reference, you have no sense of scale.
Yeah,
of how things fit together.
I have no sense of scale even within my regular frame of reference. Beyond it is...
I'm going to guess 200 meters.
Jen, do you think that the numerical value for the depth is higher or lower than 200 meters?
Okay, what I'm doing is I'm I'm tapping into the primal part of my brain, which deals with these sorts of like things, and I'm saying it is higher.
Absolutely, it's higher.
Nice.
And do either of you want to hazard a guess at what the organism is?
I think syphilis.
Interesting.
Multicellular syphilis.
Deep syphilis. Any advances on syphilis, Nat?
It's gonna be some kind of bug, right? Like an ant or something. No, that's not gonna be.
Genuinely disappointed that neither of you guessed nematodes.
Oh!
Not angry.
Just
Bruce
disappointed.
Forsyth's famous catchphrase, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed.
Imagine hearing that from Bruce Forsyth.
I
mean,
know.
he's dead now, so it's fine.
Yeah, I did forget
Exactly.
that.
Bruce Forsyth can't.
Imagine hearing that from Bruce Forsyth.
I wonder if
Sleep
the Americans
paralysis
in our
demon.
audience...
I'm not angry, Jen. I'm just disappointed.
I wonder if the Americans / other non-Brits in our audience know who Bruce
I'm
Forsyth
sure they're
is,
very
or what this
confused.
game show is we're talking about.
Yeah.
Who cares? The Halicephalobus Mephisto has been found in mine shafts as deep as 3.6 kilometers down,
Wow.
and are probably lower than that as well.
200
That's
meters
how we
was
found
weak
it.
as piss guess. That was nothing. That was just
I
like
know.
logarithmically
I know.
wrong.
At that depth, the like oxygen is less than 1% of the ocean like average level.
Wow.
And they're in groundwater that's like 12,000 years old. And it's real hot actually.
Because you're close to the core.
Wow.
Well, closer for sure. Not close, but closer. The deepest point in the ocean is the Mariana Trench, more specifically the Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench. How deep is the Challenger Deep? I will accept your answers in meters or kilometers.
Oh. I was going to say 3,000 meters.
Interesting. Nat, is it higher or lower?
Higher.
And I think it's a
America.
trench. I think it's a
think-
trench.
10 kilometers deep.
Super close, Nat. It's 10,929 meters is deepest.
I'm not very good at this. This.
The Mariana Trench is also the deepest that a human's ever gone. I will give another bonus point up for grabs if you can tell me who that human was.
James Cameron. James Cameron.
Jen got there first.
Yeah.
Which is just as well, because Nat was beating you 3-1 and now it's 3-2.
I was just going to say that. Damn it.
Yeah. I'm really
But
hungry
there-
now because you're talking about marinara.
There is, aside from like your pizza topping animals, there is other life down that deep. Some of which tend to rely on energy via chemosynthesis, but rather than photosynthesis, because obviously the sunlight doesn't get that deep. Many of the life forms down there are also obligate barophilic, meaning that if they came up to the surface, there would be way too little pressure. They need the crazy high pressure that is at the bottom.
Like the
And that's why those
blobfish.
blobfish look
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is chemosynthesis like chemical rather than photosynthesis?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. We have only recently started to believe that it was possible for life to be as deep as it is in both the oceanic crust and the continental crust. And like, since the kind of 90s, really discovering the huge wealth of biological matter in the deep biosphere, the life below the soil, is estimated to have a volume that is double the volume of the Earth's oceans. Which is loads.
Whoa.
Wow. That's too big.
That's incredible.
That's too much.
So much
It's amazing. Like, stuff like that
So
really
much
makes
life.
you realise that, Gaia theory,
And
which is like the what was his name? The guy who came up with it, Love something. Love that the whole Lovelace, that like the whole planet you can consider like one massive organism, in that all of the kind of inputs and outputs that it kind of regulates itself in the same way as a body, like a human body has many different kinds of organisms that aren't like humans, like human with human DNA, but are absolutely essential to, maintaining the body. There's tons of like bacteria and yeast and flora and all these kinds of things, maintaining the body, just as like life on Earth doesn't just live on, but it like makes up the organism of the Earth. And when you learn stuff like there's more life in the Earth's crust than the volume of the oceans, like that really kind of makes that feel way more real as an idea.
imagine swimming in it.
Yeah.
Speaking of the center of the Earth, let's try and get there in part 2. Deep people. I did want to put pictures of us in there, and then I was too lazy to find them. Put them all in. To imply that we're deep,
Work.
psychologically.
Deep thinkers,
rather
yeah.
than
That's me.
And deep.
physically.
This
Yeah.
is me think. This is
Yeah.
me thinking.
Exactly.
And deep.
Question 1. How deep is the deepest mine shaft, Jen?
2,000 meters.
Interesting. Nat, higher or
Higher.
lower?
I don't like it when you
Because
say interesting.
You said earlier that the deepest creature, the nematode, had been found at the bottom of a mine shaft 13 kilometers deep. So I'm going to guess it's deeper than that even, and be 13 kilometers or something.
I did not say 13 kilometers, so you are kind of lucky you didn't get this question, but you are correct that the numerical value is in this case higher. It was 3.6 kilometers. So that
I thought that sounded too big.
This is in a gold.
So I got it like nearly bang on.
So I got it
and I
way
still don't
more
get the
wrong.
point.
Yeah,
That's how
you
the
got it
game
way
works.
more wrong, but you were, yeah. This is in a gold mine in South Africa that is, find that 3.84 kilometers deep at its lowest, and its deepest shaft, but they're planning on digging deeper, to like 4.2 or something. But even at that depth, temperatures are like well over 55 degrees. 55 degrees is like 3.5 kilometers down, and this is 3.84 kilometers down. They have to bring up, and in Fahrenheit, that's 131 degrees Fahrenheit for people who have no idea what Celsius is.
Screw them. Do not cater to those.
So they have to.
They
pump
can learn
ice
Celsius
down
or they can get out.
They have to pump ice down there constantly, and like earthquakes are a huge issue as well. But they have to pump the ice down constantly just to be able to, survive in there. So who won that point? Nat won that point.
I won that point.
I do feel silly for saying 13 kilometers now, because I did think that.
I need
makes
to. I don't know whether I've just added your point already or I didn't.
No,
I think I
right.
didn't because you weren't equal. It's true. There you are. You've got your point now. You happy? You happy now?
I'm not.
Next question. How deep is the deepest borehole? This is not wide enough for anybody to go down. It's just to kind of have a look-see how deep they could possibly go. Bonus point if you can guess the country.
It's like, it could be deeper in terms of like human safety because you don't have to send people down there, but then also you need materials to just from one place be able to continuously bore down. Like, I'm gonna guess like 3 kilometers, but
Jen, are we going higher or lower?
I'm going higher because the deepest mine shaft is 3.8 kilometers, so it's got to be higher than that.
It is
Right.
indeed. The deepest borehole at 12,262 meters is the Kola Deep Mine Shaft, and any guesses on the country?
Peru?
Any guesses, Nat?
the what mine shaft?
Kola,
I'm gonna say Latin America as well, but
Kola. It's Russia.
Oh.
It's exactly the kind of thing they would do. Space race meets drilling race, basically, is what's happened here. They were planning on going deeper, but they got at that far down. It was already 180 degrees Celsius, which is 356 degrees Fahrenheit. The rock was way less dense than expected, way more porous than than expected, and way hotter than expected, meaning that it was behaving more like plastic than like rock. So you've got your equipment heating up way too much. So the equipment kind of, like, if you drill too deep, your equipment turns to jelly and the rock turns to jelly. So you're trying to drill jelly with jelly, and it is impossible. So they had to stop. So that's probably about as deep as we can or will go. Final question. How deep, and I'll change this number, how deep did the mole man of Hackney dig?
what?
Who's
The
the
what?
mole man of Hackney?
I will tell you a bit about the mole man of Hackney. The mole man of Hackney was one man, William Little, who had a house in Hackney, and for 40 years, since between the 1960s and 2006, just dug tunnels, he claims, just underneath his own house. Other people claim underneath their properties as well, until he was forced to stop by the council after 40 years. Right, listen to what happened to Mr. William Little. They knew that he was digging, and they continued to let him dig for 40 years. And then in 2006, they told him he couldn't do it anymore. He's not allowed near his house anymore, and they charged him for filling it with cement, which was well over £100,000. How is that fair? They knew. How deep did he go?
Oh god, it can't be that deep, can it?
20 meters.
50. I mean, it's my guess, so I think 19 meters.
So Nat, you're saying higher. You saying
Yeah.
higher?
I got it now. Yeah.
It was 26 meters.
Ah,
so Nat wins that
boo.
point. I didn't mention you were 5 for 5, by the way. So now Natalie has won with one single point.
Oh,
Do you know, like,
26
so
meters.
he said,
Are you not
Yeah.
That's
risking
quite
like
deep.
flooding?
it's,
and,
I mean,
and stuff at that point as well. Like,
hard to actually, like, measure, but, yeah, so basically he stopped when he reached the water table,
right.
which is 26 meters down.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a collapse in his front
Yeah, makes
garden at
sense.
some
Yeah.
point. Neighbours complained
Yeah.
of like
You'd complain, yeah.
you know, rumbling, and then like he accidentally knocked out the power on the other side of the street one time. Good crack. Yeah.
Did he give a reason why he was so like dedicated to just digging holes?
No, but he did say something along the lines of, "It's good because people ask you why you're doing it."
Just so we can have a topic
Just
of
like,
conversation.
They ask you, and there's no good reason. He's like, people are always trying to find out from me, and
They think he's like burying treasure down there or
Please, you-
something.
You do get.
he said
you
it
do get-
started as a wine cellar, then the wine cellar doubled, and then kept going.
You do get some weird eccentrics in the UK.
Well, as well, it's like, how's he? I mean, he presumably he had a skip set up outside his house where he was just like coming up
Yeah, there's
and
a great
like
photo of him
dumping
standing
all
in
this
the skip,
stuff.
actually. Yeah. Yeah, so they fully knew that this was happening for decades, and then kicked him out. And now the house now belongs to an artist or something who like
Set up.
Oh yeah, because it's bloody Hackney. It's getting
Yeah,
gentrified,
yeah.
isn't it?
Set up some gallery in these weird tunnels.
yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
How deep is the crust? Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. How deep is the crust?